The New England Patriots just dodged this massive bullet. We're talking Matrix style. Let's talk about it. My name is Aaron. On the daily Patriots content, don't miss out. All you got to do, subscribe, notification bell, hit the like button. Last year, New England Patriots, a lot of different issues. We know that. We've talked about that to a huge extent on this channel. One of the biggest issues, though, at the very beginning of the season was, are they going to extend Matthew Judon? We know he's had some years where he's done well. He dealt with injuries, all these different things, 32 years old. And the man said, listen, I want to get paid. As simple as that. He wanted more money, so he was doing a little hold in. He was at practice. We remember the whole Gerard Mayo, them tripping back and forth. He leaves. Everyone gets all frustrated. And that kind of added to the toxic environment of last year's team and the culture of last year. But anyways, he ends up getting traded. The Patriots end up getting a third-round pick out of it. If you remember, that third-round pick is now Jared Wilson, the best center out of the drafts last year, out of UGA. Go Dogs. Not a Georgia fan, but I feel like I'm obligated to say that. Anyways, they end up getting him. And now as we continue to see this story unfold, in my mind, in everyone's mind, in every Patriots mind, they should be saying, we absolutely just dodged a bullet. And I think people are starting to realize that more and more. I think most people forgot about Matthew Judon. I did. I certainly did. I was too focused on the offensive line, the wide receivers, Efton Chisholm III, which we still need to come up with a nickname for him. I heard someone call him Chiz, EC3. So names below if you got a good name. But anyways, Matthew Judon last year goes to the Falcons. The Falcons, they're all in. They're trying to go win a Super Bowl in 2024. Kirk Cousins, though I think he's a great guy, did not do well. Michael Penix comes in to prove to everyone, hey, there's a reason we took a quarterback in the top with a top 10 pick the year before. And then they get Matthew Judon. One more year on his contract. They don't extend him. They drop him. What does that show you? That shows you no one's really interested. He was getting a base salary with the Patriots for $6.5 million a year. That was his yearly kind of average. Now his 4-year contract was, I believe, 58, something like that. So it was good money, but his yearly base salary wasn't ideal. He wanted much, much more money. Atlanta Falcons look at him and say, nah, we're good. Guess who picks him up? The Miami Dolphins down in South Beach. They end up picking up Matthew Judon. Guess what? For less than what he thought he was worth. 1 year, $6 million. 1 year, $6 million. So when we look back at this in retrospect, I think there was a lot of people that were disappointed. And we have to remember, on that defense last year, we had a lot of injuries. We had a lot of issues, and it was frustrating. Well, from a legal issue all the way down to season-ending injuries. It was rough. It was frustrating. We can all agree, because I think that defense should have been that kind of crutch for this team, and they showed that early on. They had a lot of games that they did well in, and then it went downhill. But this should go to show everyone the Patriots dodged a huge bullet by not extending Matthew Judon and letting him, just trading him and getting back capital. They won that part of the trade. Jared Wilson down the road should be an absolute beast for this offensive line, whether that's at center, whether that's at left guard. Granted, we know he was having ankle issues just the other day, but again, we have to all take it with a grain of salt. He is a rookie. He's going to get these things figured out, but I would much rather have him than Matthew Judon being way overpaid, way too much money for him just to have. Last year, he had 5.5 sacks, maybe 6, 5.5. His Pro Football Focus score is in the 40s, rough, not good. And so looking back at it, smart move, bullet dodged, the Matrix style, Neo style, great to hear. What do you think? Comment below. Would love to hear from you, because it's important we remind ourselves of this stuff, because I think a lot of times people get all triggered, get on their soapbox, start standing up, shouting to the masses, getting upset, and then we look back and we go, oh, yeah, that was the right move. That was a smart move. So again, glad we moved on from him. He was old. He wasn't producing like he should have been. Let someone else take a chance on him. Get what you can while you can. That was one of the biggest things I said. So even though people were like, a third round pick isn't a lot, now it goes to show we won that trade. So comment below, tell me what you think. I think it was a great move. Next up, we jump into, just because it's becoming a bigger story than I thought, but the whole Trey Hendrickson thing to the Patriots. There's a little trade package in here that is very interesting. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on it when we jump down to it. But yesterday, when I talked about Trey Hendrickson, I was like, as far as we know, they haven't even talked. Then, literally right after I put out that video, I'm looking at some stuff, and it's like, sure enough, the Patriots have been in contact. Now, that again, that doesn't mean just because Elliott Wolf came out and said, guys, of course, we would trade a first round or a second round pick to help better our team if we thought it was the best for our team. Yes. And it just so happened that correlated with the same time that the Bengals were saying, listen, we're listening to trade offers. That doesn't mean they're just going to go out and just be like, take whatever you want. We want Trey Hendrickson. That's not the case. Now, he has one more year left on his contract. He's going to want to be extended most likely wherever he goes, or obviously become a free agent. We'll see. But the man has produced. He's done well, though he is, I believe he's 30 this year. But the question becomes, what would be worth it for the Patriots to go get him? What should they do? And so there's some interesting. I like this trade package right down here. So it'd be, we received Trey Hendrickson and a sixth round pick for this upcoming draft. The Bengals would receive a second round pick, Kendrick Bourne and Jennings. So a lot of projections don't even have Bourne making the team. Most of them have Jennings making the team. Listen, if this was the trade right here, I would say yes. We don't lose our first round pick. I think that's a very, very valuable pick. What's tough is it's potentially only 1 year. If you don't get a contract, if you don't get them extended, if you don't get it figured out, it's only going to be a year. So again, you're weighing your options. You're taking a chance. A lot of people would argue the Patriots aren't in a position right now where if they were to add a Trey Hendrickson, it would push them over the top into the AFC Championship game, Super Bowl. Some people would argue that it's not worth it right now. Other people would argue that, hey, that's possible. The Patriots are pushing the playoffs. Is this going to help them kind of just push past a little more? You're going to have Keon White. You'd have Harold Landry III, and as well you would have Trey Hendrickson. Again, you got to have the conversation. There's nothing wrong with calling up the Bengals, shooting the breeze, and saying, hey, what are you guys thinking? What are you thinking? Because they're cheap. They don't want to pay them. Patriots do have cap space. Again, I've said yesterday, they have to extend some contracts coming up soon. Gonzo, Drake May. They got to pay some people. So when we look at Trey Hendrickson, second question, is it worth it? What would be worth it to you to get Trey Hendrickson? Comment below. I'd love to hear from you. So, and as I said, I didn't think we'd be talking about that as much because I thought it was a big nothing burger, but it seems like now we're probably going to be talking about a little more, especially leading up to this season. So comment below. Tell me what you think. Looking back to Matthew Judon, your thoughts on that whole situation. Trey Hendrickson, we're just talking about edge rushers today. That's what we're doing. One good, one bad. But anyways, one still good, one really towards the end of his career. I don't want to dog on Matthew Judon. He had his years that I want to be respectful towards that. But again, one worth his weight in gold. One, unfortunately, trying to still prove himself that he's worth a better contract, though he's in his early 30s, 32. Anyways, I keep digging a hole. Comment below. Tell me what you think. You guys rock. Hit the subscribe button. We'll talk later. Peace.